You go down there, you tell those guys, you ask them how long Jen has been there, right?
Yep.
They respond, well, he was just in here. I don't know. He came back about 5 days ago. Him and Nazar both. They both look rough, but they came back and then they left again, same day.
Were they carrying anything with them? Or they?
No, they didn't really talk to anybody. They didn't respond to anybody. They just both looked tired and they both just left.
5 days ago.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. What else
I'd
you want to
like.
do, Ward?
I want to go talk to the council again if I can briefly. The main guy. What was his name again? Starts with a D.
Denon Vendar is his name.
Denon. Yeah.
Yeah, you can find him at his tower, and his
Okay.
tower is the second, third tallest, and it's on the left hand side of the big black tower.
Okay. Uh, I'd go to the door and ask if I could see him.
You open the door, and a floating figure of black mist and glowing red eyes answers it.
Hey, Alfred. I was wondering if I could meet with him.
The door opens wide, and he floats to the side.
Thank you.
As you enter in, it's a lot of black, dark gray marble. Onyx, where in some places
Right.
there's lots of tapestries. There doesn't seem to be any kind of um, extra dimensional things going on here. It just seems to be pretty utilitarian. There's a staircase that leads up and a staircase that leads down. Uh, the the host points to the staircase that leads down.
I nod again and start walking down.
As you walk down, you walk through what appears to be a kitchen. It's got a small table. It doesn't look like he hosts many people here at all. He is actually sitting at the table, and he's got a book open, a map open, and he's kind of just pecking at what looks to be a plate of eggs and bread and just a real basic breakfast. He This is the first time you've ever seen him without a robe. He's just wearing linen, black linen. He looks like an Empire officer from Star Wars.
Okay.
He's just sitting there casually eating his food. He's, oh, well, welcome to my abode.
I'm sorry for intruding upon your time. I have a couple of questions I would like to ask you. I was hoping maybe you could help.
Certainly, have a seat. There's some questions I'd like to ask you as well.
Great. We'll we'll take turns.
Would you like something to eat?
No, thank you. I'm not hungry after what I just witnessed.
Go ahead. You seem concerned.
I went to speak with Jen's mother because I hadn't heard from her, and she had
Uh,
been.
Miss Merkland, Rosa, if I remember her name correctly.
Yes, she had been murdered approximately 5 days ago.
Really? That's the same time as when we came from out from underneath Warnos's tower.
Around the time we believe that the tower was destroyed, she was murdered, based off of the
And
some writings.
what was the signs of her demise?
Finger of death ish, circle around hole about this big in her
Well,
neck.
well, the finger of death will leave necrotic tissue, but it won't necessarily leave a hole. In her neck, you say?
Right in the base of her head.
The base of her head. How large was this hole? Let me see. Let me see, based on what you've told him, if he can glean anything.
I don't know.
That was is. Hmm.
She said love killed her.
She also didn't have a brain. I'm sorry.
21. Okay, he goes. Well, I would like to follow up perhaps with some questions that might help with your investigation.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the town is small. I mean, the town is large, and I have a lot to cover, so I can't divulge a whole bunch of time towards this, but I can offer you some information. You say there was a hole on the back of her neck.
It was in the base of her head, on top of her neck, where her brain was like sucked out
Was
of
there
it.
any pieces of skull missing?
Yeah, it was a circular sized piece, like drilled out like a
But no shattering
no.
pieces anywhere. And this, I don't know if you checked, but was there a shut up, Johnny? But was there a brain or a
No,
brain stem
there,
or
there was no brain or brain stem in there that we saw, and I rolled a natural 20.
so? Would you surmise that the hole was roughly the size of apple or pear? Like if you set it in there, it'd be about that size.
I'd say about the size of an apple, based off of the way the DM described it.
Well, this is most unfortunate, and now I have to task you with something because somewhere in the inn or around your inn, there's an illithid. Are you familiar with what that is?
Yeah, mind flayer is kind of what I was worried about earlier.
Um, it's most unfortunate why Rosa was targeted. I'm not sure. Perhaps your investigation will find out why, and why is there so much issues with Jin and his family. Um, so, so I was going to ask you some questions about the orcs and where you came from and things of that nature, but that seems lower tier now. So I request at the council will offer you a reward that you discover where this mind flayer, who this mind flayer is, and eliminate the problem.
Well, that goes with what I was wanting to do as well. I did have one other question about something else that's very important to me and probably to you on the council, and
Okay.
that is when I discussed how I touched a mirror and I was transported into another world and met with Galen, who said that he was transported there as well. I can't say Galen, man. Fight me. Fine, Galen. I still wrote down that way, and I'm still gonna say it for a while because that's how I work. Could you talk to me a little bit more about that? I was transported back
You
immediately to
told
where I
me
was before. Would he be do that as well? Because he was
what
in
what.
Fremantle's tower.
Let me interrupt you for a moment. You have just revealed something that was unknown to the council that Galen lives.
I said
Am I?
that to him at the tower.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
He didn't think anything about it. He was thinking about all the other stuff going on. In other words, the dungeon master was thinking about all the other stuff that was going
Right.
on. So you
Go-
say Galen lives, and he was in a mirror that was set up by Alexa.
Yes. He said that he was talking with her about some problems and concerns that he had regarding her behavior and that he was stranded there for years. I'm thinking, I don't know.
Oh, damn.
Well,
I
he disappeared 5 years ago.
Yes, he. Okay, that I believe that's what he said, but I was kind of distracted by the fact that somebody took over my body and was on the other side pretending to be me.
Well, that's a mirror of transference. That's
Okay.
it's a pretty sinister item in the wrong hands. But let me tell you a little bit of our history. Originally, the triumvirate of power uh, for the council was myself, Phalanx, the I don't want to say Grand Wizard because that makes me think of the KKK,
Right.
but the High Lord Maid,
Arch
and
wizard.
The
and
lustrous potentate.
and Magnus the Merciful or the Moral, Magnus the Moral. We were and each one of us had our own right hand. Uh, Galen and Magnus and Phalanx all were invited to a ball that celebrated the treaty that we had signed with the city and kingdom of Sindara that gave us autonomy over our land. Um, while there, apparently a horde of orcs and goblins and kobolds attacked the city of Sindara along with some dragonborn who were riding wyvern. Proceeded to attack the city, the power of the north, basically, and we lost word from all of those individuals except for Phalanx, who continued to fight against the horde while he was in the city. Well, that and until unfortunately we lost him 5 days ago, due to he finally succumbed to the goblin. But they were Magnus and Galen both just vanished, disappeared without a trace. So there's another situation that I would like for your group who have proven to be very thorough and committed to the jobs that they're assigned. Once you've dealt with this illithid, I would like for you guys to find Magnus if you can, because he is the next in the order of leadership here. Usually we have a vote, but if Magnus was here, he would get it unanimously. So if you can find Magnus, that would be wonderful for the town, for the city.
He have this ring?
Was it the Sindarin Regency ring?
Yeah.
No, that actually would belong to Anders and his family, the current king of Sindarin.
Okay.
But he and Magnus were friends, so that might be
Good place to start.
that'd be a good place to start. Would be Sindara.
So
But please
on the
deal with the illithid situation first.
okay, on the mirror of transference, was there would Galen be transferred back to the place he originally was whenever he was transported in?
He would be wherever the mirror was, as long as the mirror wasn't broken. He would be able to be transferred to wherever that mirror was.
Oh,
If the
that's
mirror,
not good.
if the mirror is broken, then there's no telling where he would end up.
Okay, thank you. I will go talk to my friends about the mind flayer.
Very well.
And is there a way to recognize or notice a mind flayer that's like possibly walking around in somebody else's?
No, just follow the. Unfortunately, follow the corpses.
Okay, thank you for your time. I'm sorry if I interrupted your eggs.
Oh no, it's fine. That's just
Where's
fuel
Jen?
anyway. Have a wonderful day.
Where's Jen?
Is there something else you'd like to ask me?
I just left from Jen's apartment. I haven't seen him and couldn't find him, and they said that he left almost immediately. He and his girlfriend.
There is one thing that you should take note that I found slightly disturbing, is that Jen and Nazara are unnaturally close. I understand boyfriend and girlfriend, but they seem more connected than that, like they share some kind of link.
Like
I
freak
have no,
awareness.
I have no, I have no proof or information to back my claim. It's just an observation, an insight that I made while dealing with them, especially while transferring them to the infirmary. They would never leave each other's side, and she was constantly trying to touch him in some way, shape, or form.
Similar to Fremantle and Warness's relationship, based off of what we've learned.
Warnos and Palexa did spend a lot of time together, and I ignored their obvious relationship just for the sake of there was not my business. My business is the city and things of that nature. Um, but you could say probably similar to that.
So, if we're being 100% open with each other, what would you tell me your major concern was about that? What are you suspecting?
Mind flayers have thralls, and the thralls are never far from their mind flayers.
Layers and draws. That's what I was thinking too. Whenever she said it was Jen. Thank you. You gave me a lot to digest. I'm going to go check on Slade and his bullets, or Itchy and his.
I wish you the best of luck. Each member of your party, if you're able to achieve this success, will get somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000 each.
Wow. I'll
If
let
you're
him
able,
know.
if you're able to discover and then slay these mind flayers. But if you'll excuse me, I have to get ready for my day's work. I have students I have to actually teach.
Good day. Thank you.
And as you're led outside, where would you like to go, Ward?
I'm going back to the hotel and listen to somebody play drums or some moon elf play a
Sure.
flute or something.
Yeah.
It was all right. It was. I was all right with the fact that we was going to be dealing with a mind flayer, but you just used mind flayers in plural, so that bothers me.
Well, there's the one in the hotel. There's the one that either is Jen or his girlfriend. And then there's the possibility that Fremantle was one and Werness was Herthral. So that's at least three. That's at least plural.
That's at least plural. I like it.
So you don't think that Jin killed his mom, and
Yep.
he's actually the mind flayer over both Werness and uh, what's her name?
I
Anyway,
don't.
okay, so you're heading back to the hotel. This is day 6. Slade has kind of isolated himself in his workroom. Every once in a while, you guys come in. You've built a relationship now. Um, not Logan, Drekken is playing the drums, trying to earn some hard earned cash. Itchy, you are doing what? Going back and forth between you and Slade, working and stuff like that, or
Yeah, right now.
Oh, great. I show up the day he does a crappy job on the drums and doesn't makes me go.
yep. The last day was the 5th day, and he did a crappy job on the drums. He doesn't earn any. You're like, what is they doing? He's just beating cans. What's going on? Okay, so Slade, you're taking a break from your hard tinkering, and you go down to the lobby, and you're drinking whatever you drink, and Itchy's down there with you. You guys are kind of just tired. Uh, Draken is up on the stage, and Ward, you walk in. What would you
Okay.
like to do?
I'll go down and sit beside the two that's drinking at the bar and or wherever they're drinking.
Go ahead, table.
Okay. And I am going to ask for some kind of like blackberry wine, some kind of wine type thing with nature fruit kind of stuff if they've got
Yeah,
it.
they have some muscadine wine and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then as uh, I sat down, I let them know about the mind flayers and about how we were asked by Denon to search for and destroy, and my concerns regarding Jen and his girlfriend, and then ask either one of them if they know anything about mind flayers.
The only one who might know something would be Itchy. Itchy, give me a. Let's go with just a general intelligence check or history, whichever one's going to be better for you.
In my past, have I ever seen one up close?
Nope,
A real one?
nope.
You got
All
to
you've
see the
seen are
hole
books.
in the head of someone though.
You've seen just books.
Hold on just a second. All right. And that was a history check you wanted?
If it's higher than just a straight intelligence check, yes.
Yeah, it's a 22.
What kind of information do you want to know about the illithid? And I'll tell you. You do know that they travel in colonies.
Mm.
That they usually are close to what's called an elder brain, which is a giant brain that kind of is their. It's, if I'm not mistaken, it's made up of a bunch of mind flayers who've come together and make up the silver brain, like these little spongy things.
Like
But
the board?
no, no,
No.
nothing like the board. Um, they also have a tendency to take thralls from other races or slaves from other races. They've been chased all throughout, they've been chased all throughout the astral sea and the astral plane by a race of beings called the Gith. There's two of those races. There's the Gith Yankee and the Gith Zerai. Um, there's been very few sightings of any of those on Valorum. Um, it's something that people have known just because it was passed down through books and through the few people that haven't run into them. You know that they are hunger and they hunger for brain, and they attach to the back of someone's skull or anywhere they can find a purchase, and they will carve using their saw-like mouth to open up the skull and then proceed to suck the brain. Um, they have tentacles. They can cast spells. They're pretty awesome as bad guys.
And what if
So
it's
when
kill
I was
three?
when I was enslaved to the wizards, I would not might not have seen them.
No, no, that's all the knowledge you gained. That all from books. Everything that you earned right there is all from books. How does Slade respond to the information that a mind flayer and illithid is in the town and killing people? After you've heard what Itchy says, how do you feel?
I'm not happy about it, especially since we might have rescued him and then brought him right back into the town.
There's no real evidence that Jen is a mind flayer. Y'all are quiet. What are y'all doing?
I don't know where I'm at. And Logan's dog won't be quiet.
Speaking of which, none of y'all have heard from Greg.
Might need to go check the base of his skull.
So you guys are sitting there and you see a familiar young girl come running through the front doors of the inn, run to go up the stairs, and then stops and she turns to all of y'all and she smiles real big. Her skin is different and she's way more active than you've ever seen her. But it looks like Margaret is there.
Hey, Margaret.
You feel something in your mind say, "Hey, tall elf."
Oh, Jesus. I just realized who she is. Oh, God.
She's Margaret.
Great to see you. Where's Greg? Where's Sully?
Sully. Oh, Big Fuzzy? Big Fuzzy, he's upstairs sleeping. He was tired, he said.
I bet he is. So, are you hungry? You want something to eat?
Sure. She comes and she sits down next to y'all. She puts her hands on the table like, all right, give me some food.
What do you want?
What do they have?
I'll ask.
Today they have a nice big cut of lamb with a minced jelly and some risotto. They also have a nice venison stew with carrots and potatoes and mushrooms and a dark brown gravy. They have fried yardbird.
Sweet.
That has mashed potatoes and gravy. And then they have fruit bowls and cheeses and breads of various varieties.
Yeah, I'm going to ask her what she wants.
She asked for the fried yardbird.
Oh, yeah. Fried chicken's my favorite.
She asked, can she have extra mashed potatoes?
And macaroni and cheese if you got it.
They don't have macaroni and cheese. But
Okay.
she asked you if she can have extra mashed potatoes.
Of course.
And the food's brought. Are you having food also, Ward?
Yeah, I asked for
Yardbird?
fried chicken too.
Anybody else going to eat after seeing this warm plate of delicious food?
Yeah, I'll have the stew.
Yeah, the venison stew. Sure. What about you, Itchy? You want any of it?
Yeah, I'll take the whatever.
All right, you get the stew as well. What about you there, Drekken? You gonna come down and sit with him and eat at the table? Okay. He's gonna order the most expensive thing he can. It costs him 15 gold since he can't talk.
I
I just get the
Y'all
rest of
sit
the
down
stew.
and y'all enjoy a delicious meal. I mean, it's really really good. She scarfs down that fried chicken like she's never eaten before. She's like, and
can I ask Ichi something else about the mind flayers while we're eating?
sure.
Does he know anything about the adversary?
Do you know
Hasn't
anything about
been-
the adversary, Itchy?
I have no idea.
Okay,
Yeah,
just checking.
he has no idea. Neither does Itchy.
Okay, just
Your
wondering.
meal, your meal is complete and it is delicious. Do you want to continue to play Drekken, or are you going to go to your room?
I'll probably just hang with them for a while.
Well, it's
Probably
getting
go
later.
back. Okay,
It's getting later. Y'all going to break up and go to y'all's rooms?
I figure.
I want Margaret to Greg's room.
Well, Drekken's staying with Drekken.
I
Yeah,
thought
I'll
he
just
was
put her on my
asleep.
shoulders and
Okay.
walk her up in there.
Alrighty.
All right, so she's patting you on the top of the head, and she keeps pulling up on your wolf thing, looking at your horrible mangled top scalp where you got scalp.
Your head looks just like my shoulder.
It's kind of what it says, yeah. As you get to the room, you notice the room door is open, like cracked.
I'll give it a big thud.
You thud, and it kind of swings a little bit, and you hear something splash.
I'll, without stepping in, I'm just gonna shove the entire door open.
Yeah, it's dark. It's black in there. You can't see anything.
I have the dagger of continual flame.
You're gonna pull it out.
With the continual flame. I'll pull it out and
It gives you the 20-foot torchlight around, and you notice that there's a puddle right near the door, and it looks like the door frame that goes off into your little water closet that y'all use
mm-hmm.
is broken and torn and in splinters. You see what it looks to be claw marks right there close to the door.
Oh
Are you gonna walk in? Are you gonna take Margaret with you?
no, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna say 1 minute, and then I'm gonna take one step in and try and open the water closet door.
You can tell you don't have kids. There's no way a kid's gonna pay attention to that.
So you go in and try to open it.
Yeah.
It's kind of off its hinges a little bit. I'm bent around the frame and destroyed around the frame.
Mm-hmm.
You can open it, and you put the dagger in there. There's blood splashed all across the walls of the water closet onto the floor, and then as you follow that out, you notice that's where some of the claw marks are, and it's kind of leading deeper into the room. You've got about 10 feet that you can't see, and it's closest to the bed and the window.
I'm gonna throw the dagger at the wall.
Close
I
to
just
the
need
bed.
to get the light over there.
Okay. Throw the wall. It sticks into the wall right above the bed, and you see a form laying with one arm on the bed, completely stripped, and legs splayed open like it had fallen.
Mm.
Blood just pooling underneath it, and there is a recognizable orange fur.
Is it Greg?
You have to go up and examine him.
I'll walk up and look.
Give me a medicine check.
Oh, that's not gonna. Well, it's not my greatest skill, but it's a +3, so total of 20. That's actually better than I was ever hoping for.
It is Greg, and it looks like the top of his head is missing. But there is also what looks to be a circular hole on the back of his head, like it's cut in half. There's blood pooled everywhere around him. There is no brain. Um, he's been completely stripped of all his gear. He's laying there naked and abused, and it's a horrible, horrible scene. One of your friends is laying dead before you, has been completely mangled, but it also looks like he fought for his life. You see, you see scratch marks, broken tables. He fought for his life. He just didn't win.
I'm gonna stand up and walk out, pick up Margaret and walk down.
She's fighting against you, and she's what? What is it? What is it? Where's Big Fuzzy? And she starts to crawl out of your hands. You
Big
need an athletic
Big
strength.
Fuzzy. I I say Big Fuzzy is sleeping, and I don't want to disturb him.
She pulls,
I'm.
she pulls your face right next to hers, and you can see her eyes have this weird, almost insect-like glint in them. And she
Mhm.
tells, "I know dead when I see dead. He was dead. What happened?"
The creatures that the others were talking about downstairs.
She said she tells you to put her down.
I won't drop her, but I'll.
She runs into the room and she starts to cradle Greg and holds him close to her. She's covered in blood. She doesn't care. She's holding his still form and she's crying and rocking him.
I'll just go up and kind of pat her on the back. How far away am I from the other two? From any other people in our group?
Uh, I would say that Itchy and Slade. Actually, Ward is probably on the second floor watching the elves, and Itchy and Slade are still finishing up what they're eating, and we're about to head upstairs.
So
Ward
Ward
would
would
be
be closest.
yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. As much as I hate to do it, I'm going to sprint, dash
Okay.
every round it takes to get to Ward.
We're role playing right now, so it would take you not long.
Okay, and then I will say Greg is dead. That is what I say immediately as soon as I get within 5 feet of him.
Where is he?
He's in our room. He's been killed by an illith, is by a mind flayer. That's what I've heard them say.
All right,
But it's that same circular hole.
Ward, give me a perception check.
Okay. 17.
The room that you're in is the second floor performance hall. It's not as full as it normally is.
Right.
There's only three other patrons in there besides you, and as the elves are playing, she's smiling at you and stuff like that. But she sees him run in, and he's covered in blood,
Right.
and she starts to look a little bit worried. You notice that, but you also notice that there is looks like there's a tiefling in full plate mail sitting at a table. There's you can't really tell what race this individual is. They've got a black cloak that kind of obscures their entire face, and they're wearing black leather armor. They just look dark, and they're in a separate corner watching the performance. And then there's what looks to be a halfling with simple clothes and suspenders, who seems really shocked as he sees Drekken come by and covered in blood. That's what you see before you head upstairs.
Okay, so I'm going to ignore the tiefling and the Githyanki and run to check on Greg.
Okay. As you go upstairs, you hear a wailing, like somebody who's had their tongue cut out, and the sound they make coming from inside Greg's room. It's harsh.
Oh my God! Did you leave Margaret in there, Gregkin? With a dead body?
Well, I was trying to inform you.
Thanks for
and
getting
she was
me.
not leaving
Holy crap!
him.
Yeah, she's kind of stubborn. You should have thrown her on the roof.
Oh, not through.
As you walk in, you see the same scene that I described. Your oldest friend who's been around, you've known him his entire life.
Right.
Lays in the arms of this young girl, maybe 10, 12, and she's cradling it, and she's covered in blood, and half his head is missing. And it looks like he fought for his life, but
does it look like he was surprised and fought for his life?
Yes, you could surmise that he was surprised and caught unawares.
So how could he possibly be caught unawares by anybody in his room alone?
You don't know. You can give me an investigation check that might clear up some things.
Well, Lincoln's probably still hungry.
I feel like I need to do a perception check on Margaret, but I'll do the investigation check because I rolled an 11. I'm distraught.
Yeah, you're very distraught. It's you're having a hard time because every time you go to investigate and look, your eyes are drawn to Greg's dead body and Margaret holding it,
I'm
and
gonna ask Ricky
and
to go get it.
and her unearthly wail as she's holding them.
Right. I'm gonna be doing noises as I ask Draken to go get Itchy
I go.
because I'm gonna ask him to do Speak for Dead again.
I run. I'm.
Keep in mind, the top half of his head is gone. It's gonna be really hard for him to speak anything.
I'll be honest with you. He spoke the whole time without a brain. I'm okay with now.
Like
No, I
I
don't think
said, the elephant's probably still hungry.
the physicality of not having a mouth. He's cut like this, Hawk. But you can go. But Draken goes to get you. So what do you say to Itchy and Slade as they're both leaving the table together?
I say, Greg has been killed by something, presumably one of these things. These mind flayer illithids, whatever.
Huh. So was I? Where was I? Was I still in the?
Yeah, you two were getting done eating. You guys were finishing
Okay.
up the meal.
All right. Well, I'll start that way. Do I see anything familiar about the other patrons?
Familiar how?
Like familiar armor or?
No. You see just how I described. Just how I described to Ward. You've got the guy who's all dressed in black or whatever, and you got the tiefling in the plate mail, and you got the halfling in the regular clothes who's now really disturbed.
The plate mail don't look familiar.
No, it's just standard old silver plate mail.
Okay.
It doesn't look like his frostbite armor at all.
All right. I just wonder.
So you-
I'm going to go on up.
All right, as you go on up, you see the scene. Drekken's with you. You see Ward trying to look around the room, trying to be scientific.
How could he be surprised? He's a big dude. Nothing could take him. He'd have to be unsuspicious at all.
Is that where you're telling Itchy?
That's what I'm mumbling out loud, not specifically at him, but yeah. How do illithids communicate?
By their mind.
What do you think? What kind of creature is an illithid?
An outsider.
It's an aberration, isn't it?
I think it's an aberration.
Aberration? Oh, I thought it was an outsider. I'll tell you.
They look like the guy that played Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
That would be what is the actor's name? I love him. He was in Shaun of the Dead. Oh God.
Aberrations, you're right.
So Itchy, what would you like to do?
Well, I ain't talked to Greg. Have to have a mouth to talk.
Yeah.
Can you see what happened to his mouth exactly? I mean, I saw the hole where the elephant kicked in, but what happened to the bottom part of his face and the top part of his head?
You can both give me medicine checks if you'd like to on that.
Yeah, I was fixing to do that. I was just looking at something.
Can I just assist you?
Yeah.
Because my rolling went back to bad.
All right, I'm gonna do a medicine check on Greg.
With advantage.
That's good.
You can hear that thing when he rolls it. Boom!
Thump.
That's a 14.
It looks
I put
like
that on the table.
it looks like the top half of his head was wrenched and torn from the bottom half of his head. So
Almost like somebody was sitting on his shoulders when they did it.
it looks like Greg was fighting really hard, and this person just popped his head in half, just pulled the top half of his head off. If
Like
you'd
in
like to give an
Twilight.
investigation, if you'd like to give an investigation check to see kind of the crime scene, what happened, please
Yeah.
do it. Ward's already done it, but he failed, so it's up to you, Itchy.
Yeah, I'll do an investigation. And that was another crit,
Jeez.
with
All
about
right.
24 total.
It looks like you take time. You and Greg were friends, but you take time to set that aside because you know it's going to be more important to figure out what happened. So you take the time and you kind of Sherlock Holmes and Sean from Psych back up and start looking at the details. And you see that it looks like whoever was here was in the water closet. And when Greg opened up the water closet, they had an altercation there where Greg was cut and blood started spraying everywhere. And then it looks like when Greg started fighting, they went to the ground prone. And a second assailant seemed to come from somewhere else in the room and drag Greg towards the bed. There he continued to fight. And it looks like it took two people to perform the killing blow. One was sucking the back of his brain out, and the other one was pulling the top of his head. So it took two to perform the task of killing Greg. But they seem to have accomplished their task.
I'll relay all that information.
Slade, you finally get done, and you're like, why are they rushing all off? They said something about Greg being dead, and so you walk up and you see the room yourself, and you look and you see the chaos and the carnage in the room, and you see Greg's dead body. What would you like to do?
Okay, first of all, I want to ask: are we sure this is Grick?
Not with what I rolled.
With Shadwick's medicine check, he's pretty sure it's Greg.
Smelling.
Still smells the cinnamon.
Okay, do I smell cinnamon?
You do smell cinnamon.
Did you prepare sending, Itchy?
Do what?
Did you prepare the sending spell?
No, I sure didn't.
Okay.
What do you need?
I was going to see if he could send the message to Grick and see if maybe Grick is somewhere else and this is not him. What about your scry? Can you do that?
No, I don't have that.
Okay.
There is one other one, but it's a 4th level spell, and I'd hate to spend that slot.
Oh, what's the spell?
Yeah,
Hey, they love you, Greg.
I wouldn't do that either, buddy. Appreciate it.
Wow.
You guys were good friends.
Awesome, yep.
Yeah. Well, I kind of.
What's the spell?
Well, hold on.
I thought you had it in front of you.
I'm just trying to get to where I've got the description. I get the pages to turn. Neuropathy makes books real fun.
Sounds like it.
Locate creature.
Does the creature have to be living or dead?
That's what I'm wondering about. But one other thing I'm curious about is any of his equipment here.
It's all gone.
Locate object.
I do have another idea. Why don't I do a locate object? On the armor.
Is that what you'd like to do? Cast locate object on the arm? It's got to be within, what is it, 1,000 feet?
Yep.
All right, so that's what you're going to do.
Let's see. as being known to me. See that close.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Gotta find
I'll
that treasure.
Yeah, it's like, we don't care
well
about Greg, but let's see if I can find his armor.
here's the thing. If Greg's not actually dead, he's got the armor on.
It does
If
not
he is dead,
specify in locate creature that it has to be dead. By the way, that it has to
if
be alive. I mean,
if Greg's dead, wherever the armor is probably the one that killed him.
I get it.
So it's
I
a
know where you're
win-win.
going with it. I'm just trying to figure out
All right, so you cast a spell.
how to
Yep.
save it.
Locate armor.
You do not feel the object within 1,000 feet of you.
Hmm.
what door did Margaret walk through when she walked up to us and got food?
The front door. She was
Front
outside
door?
exploring the facility.
How
How-
long have you been exploring the city, Margaret?
She tells you since early afternoon when Greg brought her home from the infirmary.
And then he took a nap and you went out, or
Yeah, I asked. She tells you in your mind. She asked. She asked him if it was okay if she explored the city, and Greg said, "Whatever, do whatever you want."
that
Like
doesn't
Greg,
sound like him.
that
He's
sounds
very
exactly like.
he's very overprotective.
Take it however you will, but he's also seen what this little girl can do now. So she asked if she could explore the city a little bit, and he said yes. And I was coming back in to wake him up to show him this cool statue I found in the middle of the college campus. And that's when I stopped and ate dinner with y'all. If y'all guys hadn't stopped me, I could have maybe saved his life. So I blame you.
He was gone way before then. We're trying to figure out when right now. Don't worry, we'll get who did it.
She goes, "I'll get who did it." And for the first time, if you want to roll an insight check, you can insight check her.
I'm just going
I
to tap
want
her
to.
shoulder and say, "That's the spirit. I'll be there to help you."
I want an insight checker. Just
But go ahead.
that is 13.
She's deadly serious and telling you the honest truth. She's going to kill whoever she finds out who's done this, and she doesn't think anybody can stop her.
So the last place she seen him was
At the dining room where you guys were eating was the last place that she left him.
So I see that Dave's new character is now Margaret. This was his backup character plan all along.
So I'm going to assume, have y'all gleaned everything y'all needed to glean from this room?
As much as we can. I can't think of anything, especially that Drekken would look for.
All right, so I'm going to assume you guys put them in a respectful way into some sheets or whatever, and try to take care of the body the best way that y'all can.
No, they just call this garbage disposal up. Come get this guy. Save us a few coins.
We'll give him a Viking funeral.
And
I'll
while you're
fine.
doing that, you notice under the bed is the top half of his head. It was just casually tossed aside underneath the bed.
Awesome.
So you take the body downstairs, and then the police or the city guard actually take custody of the body so they can investigate it further. And they tell you that they'll have it at their morgue whenever you're ready to prepare burial for it. And as each of you begin to go back to your rooms, Logan, you probably want to get a different room.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a different room.
Uh,
I will respectfully ask to get a different room.
what's that, Itchy?
I think we need to keep the party together.
I do too.
I guess I'll be in your room. It's fine.
All right, so Slade's the only one that's got an individual room now. You gonna stay in your individual room, Slade? It's got all your tinkering stuff in it and everything.
I think we can get a bigger room and I'll get in there because anytime we get separated, more likely to get killed off.
Especially when you get killed off without even a roll.
Yeah, he didn't even
Okay.
get a chance to defend himself.
Greg, he who just died.
It's like he's still here. I can still hear his voice. Adam,
All I can say is don't cross the dungeon master.
I mean, good thing y'all talked about that on Google Meet last night, or this would be
So, what would y'all like to do? Are y'all going to go all room together, or Slade's got the biggest room out of all y'all? Y'all want to go just horn in on him, or do you want to? Don't forget you got to get your stuff out of your other rooms to move over.
Yeah, I've got my stuff.
Slade, are you
now.
willing to let all these people come stay and crash your room?
Sure.
All right, Ward. As you walk into your and Itchy's room, Itchy, are you going to be with them, or are you going to be with Slade already?
Yeah, I want to stay with Ward, get my equipment.
All right, so Draken, you're moving into Slade's stuff.
Yeah.
As you two guys walk into your hotel room, Ward, I need you to give me a perception check.
16.
You notice in a far corner where there's a Queen Anne chair, you see a figure all in black sitting in a chair.
They finished the music already.
Dave,
Yes.
you're up.
Hello, Ward.
Holy crap on a cracker! What are you doing?
You notice this guy. You recognize him from your monastery. He is a black dragonborn monk.
What are you doing, Brother Bjork?
The abbot has sent me to help you with your little quest. There's Illithid here.
How did you even know how to find me?
We have our ways.
Did Maliki send you, or did Bahamut?
Let's just say the abbot sent me.
Hey, Abbott.
His name is Nexodon, by the way. He's Brother Nexodon.
Okay, Nexodon. I was going to ask that next.
And you guys had an okay relationship there. He was very standoffish.
Wasn't he like one of the guards that wouldn't let us in first?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly right.
Greg didn't make it.
I saw.
If we'd have known beforehand, we could have stopped it.
If you'd been more persistent and observant, you would have known. You seem to get lost in helping those that don't deserve help.
Says the guy that's helping me.
I'm being commanded to be here.
Oh. Well, we're all going to try to stay in rooms together to keep from being separated and isolated, and
That's probably best for y'all.
us. Right. Right, Brother Nexodon?
Yes.
All right, everybody. This is actually where we're going to end it. We're running a little bit long on this last episode of the week, and my last episode as Dungeon Master for a while. But I want to thank my players for giving me a chance to do this for 20-something episodes. It's been wonderful, and it's been great. And R.I.P. Greg. And welcome Brother Nexodon, Brother Nexodon, the Black Dragon monk. Like I said, guys, thank you so much for letting me put you all through the ringer with this adventure. Next week, it's going to be Jonathan's going to be starting. We're going to be running a Forgotten Realms. If Jonathan wants to talk a little bit about that before we go, that would be wonderful. So we can have a little bit of basis.
Well, you have to do more talking about it when we start next time than ending now, though, to be honest with you.
But you are using an adventure book, right?
Yeah, I'm using I don't even remember the name of it.
It's the Rise of Tiamat.
Yeah.
Rise of Tiamat?
Yeah.
All I know is that the vampire that some of you guys met at the very first when you were leaving Nightstone will be the correct level of challenge for you guys to start up with while you're returning Clara back to Solomon.
Mm. So before we go, is there anything else anybody else would like to say on parting shots, anything like that?
I enjoyed it. Thank you,
Nah.
Jeremy.
My pleasure. Anything else? Anybody else? Anything?
Start calling him Cliff for cliffhanger.
I appreciate all the views that we get from the 10 or 12 people that actually watch 1 or 2 episodes. It means a lot. Hopefully, my storytelling is decent. Hopefully, these players playing is decent. I like them. I keep playing with them. Um, but remember, uh, even in the worst of times, just because somebody's a different political party than you doesn't make them a bad person. They just have different opinion. Also, be kind to one another, right? You know, you only have one life. You might as well live it as best you can and enjoy the people around you. So take care of each other because you never know when somebody might need that extra hand when they're scrambling down in that dark pit and they need that hand just to reach down and grab them and pull them up. Sometimes you can be that hand and sometimes you're in the pit. So just remember that. And I love or like every single one of y'all. So I wish y'all the best, and hopefully I don't get killed with my character in the very first adventure next week. So,
Speaking of that, we need to talk on Google Meet for a few minutes before the episode begins.
sure, sure. Uh, so take care, guys, and thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Mental Health Hero signing out. See you next time.
Yes.